The Alldus podcast is brought to you by Alldus International, supplying your expert AI and digital transformation staffing needs across the US and Europe. Today, you are listening to our ServiceNow series, where we interview the best and brightest of the industry to share their story, advice, and views on the exciting world of ServiceNow and digital transformation.
Hello everybody, it's Mark Kelly here, Chief Customer Officer and co-founder of Alldus. Welcome to the ServiceNow podcast series. I'm so happy to welcome Sven Richter to the podcast series. We are going to talk about an absolutely game-changing podcast today because we're talking about SecOps and IRM. And if you don't know Sven, I'll give you his comprehensive title. Sven Richter is Product Line Lead SecOps and IRM at agineo. Sven, thank you very much for joining us on the show today.
Hi, Mark. Thank you for your invitation, and I'm happy to be here.
Sven, we always start off the podcast to find out a little bit about you and your background into the world of ServiceNow. How did you get into this fascinating world?
Well, Mark, after graduating in computer science, I started 6 years ago with ServiceNow. And in these years, I had projects with different focuses like CMDB, like IT service management, over the development of custom scoped applications up to vulnerability response. So I had really diversified topics, many interesting projects, and I also met really great people in this time.
Sven, I had the pleasure of meeting your colleagues at Knowledge last year in 2023, and we had two guests from the podcast that shared some fantastic areas within human resources on the HRSD module. Tell us a little about your work at agineo and some of the work that you do in SecOps and IRM.
Well, Mark, maybe at first to agineo. Agineo was founded in 1986 as Comconsult Kommunikationstechnik GmbH by graduates of the RWTH Aachen. And Materna then took over the company in 2017. And since March 2018, we are now on the market under our new brand name agineo. And agineo is specialized in solutions for enterprise service management. And we are also the largest ServiceNow Elite Partner in the German-speaking region. And one main point from my side, we have a really great team spirit in our company. We have really skilled people and everyone supports each other. So from my perspective, working here is really great and I can only recommend it. And yeah, perhaps to my role, I'm product line lead of security operations and IRM. And yeah, as the name says, this is a combined product line. And ServiceNow offers many solutions in this area, starting at functionalities for the response to security incidents or with a proactive reaction to vulnerabilities, as well as tools for managing regulations and identifying risks for your company. And across all the topics, we often have the need for the integration of third-party tools and sources like vulnerability scanners or CM tools, where CM means security information and event management.
Outside of AI, security seems to be the most talked about term in the world right now. And it seems like the world is just under attack from so many different types of incidents. Tell us a little bit about why it's so important for businesses day to day.
Well, Mark, our world is more and more interconnected. Yeah, in the past, we had just computers, but today we have so many devices in every branch like industry, healthcare, transportation, and so on. And so the vulnerability against attacks, of course, increases. And I also read shortly in one article that attackers more and more focus on companies over private users. And what you already mentioned, the importance of AI will grow also on both sides, on side of the defender and on side of the attackers. So it's important for everyone to be best possible prepared and also to stick to existing regulations of governments and industry standards.
Sven, how are you helping customers with security and helping them to become more productive and efficient while managing to reduce vulnerabilities? And how do you utilize the ServiceNow platform to actually do that?
Well, let us talk about the advantages of ServiceNow maybe. First of all, it's an integrated system. That means you have one single system of records. And an important fact is that ServiceNow includes CMDB, a configuration management database. And that means that you can have all your configuration items directly in your ServiceNow database. And ServiceNow also helps you to bring your data into the CMDB, for example, by discovery tools. And beyond that, you have, depending on what solutions you use, the advantage of a direct connection to other modules like IT service management, for example, for creating change requests. Then ServiceNow offers you many possibilities for the integration of third-party tools. It brings you request fulfillment, and you have also possibilities to communicate by email with the platform. And yeah, so these are just some examples, but of course you have many more advantages.
And when you're a customer, and so many customers are still using Excel, using manual processes, when you actually open up the opportunity to tell them about their vulnerabilities, sometimes they can be flabbergasted and don't necessarily know where to start. How do you help them go on the journey from being totally overwhelmed with so many different cases where they need to start to protect themselves? How do you go on that kind of roadmap with them to show them how to get there?
Mhm. Maybe let's take a practical example how security operations will work. Yeah, let's imagine we have a CM system, and our CM system detects a DOS attack on one of our servers. This detection will then be imported in ServiceNow as security incident. And in ServiceNow, the threat will be assessed and the priority will be determined by the severity of the incident. And in the next step, of course, you want to defend against this attack. And for containing and resolving the security incident, ServiceNow offers, among others, the possibility to use playbooks. And these playbooks can be configured and give advices for the resolution of defined scenarios. And beyond that, they also allow to create and assign tasks automatically for initiating measures. Yeah, and as part of the solution, our IT security team will then implement these measures based on the assigned tasks. And such measures could be blocking IP addresses, shutting down servers, or even the simplest way, unblock the plug. And after you resolved your security incident finally, an assessment for the security incident will be created and added to the record. Yeah, and this assessment provides you help for similar security incidents in the future. And maybe to get a bit the connection to IRM, for example, business continuity management would offer you possibilities for preparing your company for such scenarios and also support you when it occurred, for example, by plans and runbooks.
Looking back on your journey into the world of service now and getting into this field, you're like a sponge. You've soaked up so much information from the platform, from customer solutions to their problems, and you generate a lot of tacit knowledge. Imagine a younger Sven coming into this ecosystem and they don't know what you know, or some of our customers who want to take action, go to the next step. What advice would you share with them to get going on this journey?
Well, Mark, I think the first thing I learned, if you need support on doing things where you're stuck, of course, first try yourself, but don't invest too much time for research. Very often you have many experienced people in your company, and what's hard for you, they did for several times maybe. So just ask and you'll know it next time. And for getting into a new solution of ServiceNow, first try to understand the intended process, the main relevant tables for that solution, but also the connection between your process and others in ServiceNow. And of course, make the courses ServiceNow offers to get a deeper knowledge of it. And perhaps, yeah, one personal main point when you start initially, don't be afraid. We all started one day. We all still learn new things, so just be open for new topics and be proud what you achieved then every day.
I like this advice, and I actually like the final part of your advice, because we are all learning. The cheese is always moving. There's new threats coming in that we need to provide solutions. This isn't just this is a burning platform that keeps going as well. Sven Richter, product line lead SecOps and IRM at agineo. Thank you very much for sharing your insights today on the Alldus ServiceNow podcast series.
Thank you, Mark, for your invitation, and have a nice day.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Alldus podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review. We are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and any Android podcast of choice. You can also head over to our website, www.alldus.com, to listen to more podcasts, view our open roles, and stay up to date with industry news. Thanks for listening, and stay tuned for more great episodes coming very soon.